Hi Lulus, please forgive the weird angle. I'm trying to give you guys a better video of how to actually form these tortillas. So I'm going to be looking 3 different places while I try to film from above. So you're not going to get an exact real up close version of what I'm doing, but I'll have some photographs for you later. First things first is I have a approximately 4-inch, 4.5 inch, this is a biscuit cutter or a cookie cutter. I'm going to spray my parchment paper. It's a light coating. First one goes down. Give yourself enough room between each of these because you need to get a spatula in there as you're forming these things. So what I have is my cauliflower mixture. I want to get about the size of a ping pong or table tennis ball. I don't want to go too thick on this because if it's too thick it'll actually not brown and it won't bend either when I want it to bend around my filling. So I'm going to push this down into the cup all the way to the edges. Try to get the edges up against the metal. And what I'm going to do later is I'm going to actually take my spatula, once I get it all settled and even, is I'm going to actually razor sharp these edges. Usually when you put something in a cup like this, the edges kind of rise up where your fingers are round and you can't get a nice square edge. So what I'm going to do now is take my spatula and I'm going to actually flatten the edges as I go around and take that sharp edge off the top and pull towards the center and make it more even. And the good thing about parchment is I can turn the parchment as I'm working. I use parchment a lot of the time because it's a great tool. It helps me move around the kitchen better, helps me move around my food better, and it's a lot easier to clean up. So what I have here now is a fairly smooth, nice flat-edged tortilla that's very thin. Take my mold off and I've got ready to go for numbers 3 and 4, or 2, 3, and 4. So really thin tortilla is about the size of a table tennis ball. Any more than that and you're going to have a really, really thick tortilla on your hands that won't flex and bend. Use your fingers, go lightly, go quickly. It's not brain surgery. I know because I've done brain surgery. Just get them in the mold as quickly as you can. Now when you put them in the oven, I have a sheet pan heating up in my oven already. If you have a pizza stone, that works a lot better actually. I do have a pizza stone, but I didn't want to shoot that video because not everybody has one. I didn't want to start a frenzy of people having to go out and buy pizza stones because they're not required really. So again, I'm going to flatten my edges down, bring the extra towards the center. And when I load up my pan, you'll notice that when I put these on the sheet pan in the other video, my sheet pan that I'm transferring from to the hot pan in the oven is actually upside down. You will not be able to get these things off of your sheet pan if you have them inside the rim of the pan. So don't do the rookie mistake of saying, oh, just a sheet pan, put them on there and trying to yank it out. The edge of the pan will stop you dead in your tracks. So again, we'll finish this last one up. I'll load up my pan and then we could pick up the next video where I show you how to load the oven. So almost finished. This can go pretty quickly actually, and you can assemble these all way ahead of time and then just throw them in the oven as they come in and out. So a little assembly line work works really well here, kind of like doing the tamale theory. One person makes the dough, one person assembles the shape, one person fills them, one person cooks them. A little more on the edge here. Sorry if my head's in your way, I apologize. And the last one. So if you do this right, you should have about 10 tortillas. That's subjective, of course, depending on how big you think a ping pong ball really is. But you shouldn't be making these things more than about maybe 1/8 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch thick, actually. No more than, I mean, 1/4 inch thick is going to be really plenty, but let's go 3/16 actually. Let's say that. You don't want to make them, you want to make them as close to the real thin tortilla as possible, but they're going to be about a little bit at 1/2 more height-wise than a regular corn tortilla. Alright, I think I've got it all done here. I'm nice and smooth. There we go. I've got 4 tortillas. So again, my pan goes upside down underneath. and now I'll slide them in the oven.